away from Destin, showing you the temperatures in the 60s this morning and a rainy start across the region. Notice that rain is going to continue but be a little more intermittent, I think, as you head into the afternoon hours for today in Tallahassee. So it's really been a slow-moving storm system. Surface low pressure developing into the Gulf now, and notice this huge line of showers, and yes, some embedded thunderstorms here just off the west coast of Florida. So this is going to be moving into Tampa very shortly, and it's going to be lingering through much of the day. Notice just the leading edge over towards Pinellas County beginning to push in, as well as over towards Sarasota, Fort Myers, and Naples. Dry right now, but look at that rain just around the corner. So kind of taking its sweet time, making its way across the peninsula. Cedar Key starting to get some spotty light rain, but notice the heaviest of it really has stayed in the panhandle. So we had about 1 to 3 inches there across the region yesterday. A little farther up to the north, we're getting a few sprinkles around Birmingham, Atlanta, little light rain from time to time, a little more moderate along 185 there. Here's what we're expecting through the rest of the day today as we step you through hour by hour. Take a look at this, 7, 8 o'clock. Yeah, so staying wet all through the morning commute up and down the west coast of Florida. Spreads over towards Orlando by mid to late this morning. Continues there throughout much of the day today, and even lingering into the overnight hours tonight into early tomorrow morning, especially for the east coast of Florida. Miami should be drying up, we think, by tomorrow morning as well. So a lot of rain can be expected here in general, 1 to 2 inches. That's a number to have in mind. Maybe a little lesser up towards Orlando and over towards Jacksonville, but this certainly will be impacting you along I-75 as well as I-95 throughout the day today. And just a quick peek at Tampa. There you can see the rain showers moving in this morning off and on throughout much of the day. All amount of you instead of a bitter cold February. We've got the record warmth, and more spots could see those record highs once again for today. Let's take a look at Kansas City, Chicago, Cincinnati. High temperatures today in the 60s and even 70s. That's right, 77 degrees in Kansas City is our forecast high today, which is typical of what we would see in May 22nd. So we are several months off the mark here. Really incredible. High pressure bringing that widespread warmth across the southern tier. We do have some cold advancing from the west, so we will start to see some changes, but still Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Chicago, St. Louis, down towards Nashville. Looking for high temperatures today, 30 to 40 degrees above average. Still above average across the south, not quite as much, and a lot of that due to some of that cloud cover and that rain across parts of the southeast. So only 10 to 25 degrees above average here. This shifts eastward as we head into the latter part of the week. So notice we start to shave off those warmer temperatures across the nation's midsection. Look at all the cities with potential record highs today, even more than yesterday. So dozens of these records certainly could fall. A few cities that could break records once again today. Chicago in the big bullseye of that. St. Louis could be a record for you, at least getting close. Topeka, Kansas, looking for temperatures getting close to that 80-degree mark. Notice temperatures a little cooler by tomorrow in Chicago, down into the 40s. But even as our next winter storm comes in here, we might start as rain, but a few of those cities in the Midwest are going to be changing over to some snowfall. Cincinnati on Friday, 76 degrees, and we're going to see those warm temperatures along the East Coast as well. Minneapolis, 58 degrees today. 40s tomorrow, and we're talking a winter storm for Friday and into Saturday when temperatures finally make it around freezing, but you know, barely cold enough to snow. All right, well, let's get a check on our weather headlines right now. Welcome back to AMHQ Early. I'm Jaqui Jeras, and for Jen Carfagno today on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm Ana Rodriguez getting you ready through the day, telling you what kind of weather to expect. We've got the entire Florida Peninsula dealing with showers starting along the Gulf Coast edge.
Yeah, not exactly a beach day. I think anybody's going to escape this in Florida today. Here's a look at the forecast for you in Tallahassee. Notice the forecast of showers through the morning hours. Once we get past lunch, I think the showers will be a little bit more intermittent, so keep that in mind. Keep the umbrella with you, though, handy, because that chance at least is going to be remaining. Here's the latest radar picture. Notice this big line of showers and thunderstorms just off the coast right now. So any rain that you're getting around Fort Myers up towards Tampa and into Sarasota is relatively light, but it is going to be picking up in intensity throughout the morning hours. So this is pushing in along the I-75 corridor right now, and we do expect it to be a soggy commute for all these folks here across the western shore and then also across the Panhandle panhandle, you can see some heavy downpours from time to time. So you could be picking up some good measurable rain today that's going to be limiting your visibility on the roadways and maybe a little ponding of water on the roadway. A few sprinkles around Birmingham as well as Atlanta. Give yourself some extra time to get where you're going along the I-20 corridor, as it's going to be a little sprinkly, mostly in the morning hours up here. And then the energy begins to focus, especially across central parts of Florida, as our low pressure system is actually diving towards the south through the Gulf of Mexico, and then we'll be crossing the peninsula, and this thing should be exiting by the middle of the day on Thursday. I do think the east coast of Florida may be still seeing some showers early tomorrow morning. That includes you over towards Daytona Beach. So here's the forecast rainfall totals. Notice heaviest in central and southern parts of Florida. And so yeah, a lot of snow melting across the Midwest. In fact, just a small portion of the country, about 15%, has any snow cover at all. Let's take a look at the forecast temperatures across a few cities in the Midwest today. Kansas City looking for a forecast high of 77. This is the kind of temperature that you would normally see by mid to late May. Yeah, May 22nd, that's your average high. Chicago, 68 degrees. That's a forecast high for today. Might even make the 70-degree mark. The record high in Chicago is 75, so it is going to be a close call for today. So the big focus and the big core of the warmth today will be across the Great Lakes through the middle Mississippi River Valley, where temperatures are going to be between 30 and 40 degrees above average. The southern tier and the Gulf Coast states will be more like 10 to 25 degrees above average, and a lot of that has to do with some of the moisture in the cloud cover that you're seeing down there. Notice how this does shift eastward throughout the week, and then the mid-Atlantic and northeast will start to see those temperatures even warmer than they have been. Dozens of record highs are likely going to fall once again for today. And some of these cities in the Midwest have been seeing them already for 5 consecutive days. So today you're going to be chalking up a number 6, believe it or not. So let's look at Minneapolis. Could be tying the record high today, 57. Chicago, 68. That's your record high as well. And then as we take a look at Detroit, you're likely going to come in within a few degrees of a record high. Also 71 in Cincinnati tomorrow. Charleston looking for a high around 71. Detroit at 65 degrees. Detroit could be looking at severe weather as you head into your Friday. Indianapolis looking for highs in the 70s. A little foggy in Indianapolis, by the way, this morning, though. You don't have the advisory. And Minneapolis goes from these record high temperatures down below the freezing mark with our winter storm watch in place and some big changes ahead. So just incredible. In fact, this could be the most powerful winter storm for parts of the Midwest that you've seen all season long. With me, he was talking about the thermostat, how like every little I try and go with a little hoodie or something to help you get through it. But you've hardly needed it, and those energy bills have been so low across at least the east. In fact, this is going to end up being one of the warmest winters on record, I think, for a lot of the U.S., especially eastern parts. We're tracking our winter storm Thursday into Friday from the Rockies through the Midwest. Severe weather ahead of this, really Thursday night through the day on Friday. That impacts the Midwest as you head into your, Mid-Atlantic as you head into your Saturday. Baltimore, D.C., Philadelphia, all rain for you in New York City. We dry things out on Sunday, but temperature is really going to be dropping across the nation's midsection, and another storm affects the west as we head through the week.